We're delighted to have Dr. Lowell Cabinet as a special guest for VLU Voices. Dr. Cabinet is a former ABS president and the current chancellor for the Vein Lymphatic University. He's internationally renowned as an innovator and medical educator, and the first person to help start this endovascular, endovenous revolution worldwide. Welcome.
Well, thank you, and you made my mother proud.
So, this VLU, what is Vein and Lymphatic University, and what's its purpose?
So very simply, Vein and Lymphatic University is an organization of volunteers, and our mission is simple yet profound: to be at the global forefront of advancing knowledge in the domain of vein and lymphatic disorders. Our vision is to make an impact on the global phlebology community and lives of millions affected by venous disease by accelerating venous and lymphatic education through an accessible and interactive webinars and live lectures, informative videos, and other premium channels of community engagement. Our goal is to empower, inspire, advance the understanding of venous and lymphatic disease and treatment all over the world. Since its inception, Vein and Lymphatic University has been dedicated to the aim of advancing education and understanding of venous disease and treatment. Our initial education project, Empower Her, was sought to level the playing field and offer a fresh perspective in a space dominated by male-dominated panels. Empower Her's monthly webinar program was led, moderated, and delivered by global female experts in the field, Dr. Ruth Bush and Sarah Oneida. Our current educational webinar project, Veins for All, is a series of monthly webinars in English and Spanish that are geared toward patients and their loved ones who wish to learn more about venous disease and treatment options, led by Gloria Salazar and Kathleen Orsvath. As VLU celebrates its past and present accomplishments, we look eagerly toward the future with a clear sense of purpose and ambition. VLU is committed to continuous growth and refinement of its educational programs, and we will be organizing in-person symposia and congress in 2025. Also in 2024, we will be participating in our first humanitarian mission in Paraguay, where we will provide treatment to underserved patients, as well as offering teaching and training local practitioners. In addition, we've developed what is so-called a newsletter, which is VLU Voices, which is co-chaired by the editor-in-chief, Anil Hingorani, who is now interviewing me, and Gloria Salazar. So with that being said, our goals are vast, but we're taking a step at a time. We have over 2,000 volunteers at this point, and we look to increasing our volunteership. I hope that I answered your question.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I really like the fact that you've also been reaching out to patients directly. It's not just practitioners in the venous and lymphatic space, but also directly to patients to present this material, educate them, and help bring everybody onto the fields of identifying these problems and trying to educate people on the importance of these.
Let's bring it to the forefront. There are certain areas that we know where patients have difficulty seeking physicians. And so now we're bringing it out to the public by any means that we can. And the lay webinar has been really well received throughout the world, both in English and Spanish, and we're excited about it. And we will probably continue it yearly.
So what would make VLU different than some of the other societies that also help educate physicians and or patients?
Well, we're not a society. We are an organization, which is a nonprofit organization with our mission and vision clearly established, and it's purely volunteer. there really is just volunteership. And so there is no obligation to be part of it. There is no force. We really have people that are really excited to be part of it. And it continues to grow, as I said. But our mission and vision, although can be similar, we're not involved at this point in any of the devices, so to speak. We're not involved in any of the commercial aspects of medicine, although that may change as we grow and take a different focus. But we're not involved in that. We don't have an annual meeting at this point. We just have a series of webinars and podcasts, as well as our voices, which then makes me want to ask you a question as our editor-in-chief of VLU Voices. How did it start, and where are you going with it?
Well, VLU Voices was in large part due to Dr. Victor Nada and Dr. Raul Cabinet. So this vision of trying to support VLU with online educational material that would be available to these practitioners worldwide. And I think having it in English and Spanish is going to be the way to go, get it captured as wide an audience as possible, especially here in the Western Hemisphere. But education is still the core of this. And again, volunteers really run this. There's really no financial gain per se for this so far. But having the education has several components, right? We not only want to talk about new devices and new technologies, as Dr. Kavanagh has been a pioneer in this, the pioneer in this on multiple fronts. But also we want to talk about some issues with training, for example, having residents, students, young practitioners who are just starting a practice. They all have different issues and different concerns. And I think exploring some of those issues will also be quite important. We also, of course, want to have luminaries from around the world talking about some of their new ideas, some of their new concepts, but at the same time involving some of the young people with new, fresh ideas who are just the stars that are just coming onto the scene in the venous and lymphatic field. We also want to partner with some of the meetings that are coming out because there's some really exciting material that's coming out and some new, really great ideas that are coming out at some of the venous meetings worldwide. And talking to the presidents of each of these societies, talking to the program directors for each of these societies about what are they doing, what's new, what's going to be new, interesting, and even after the meetings, talking about what impact did the meeting have. I think will be some of the areas that we want to explore with VLU Voices. So stay tuned with the first edition soon coming out, and we'll be having this podcast in the VLU Voices, and it's going to be hopefully a key component of the VLU University in its mission and its vision.
Well, thank you. I think that's really good. And how many editions do you think you're going to have this year?
We'd like to get at least 3 to 4. It's a bit ambitious to start off with, but at least 3 to 4, hopefully quarterly, and hopefully change it up a little bit each time. We have one podcast that we just finished looking at for establish a vascular lab, which is a research and whatnot. One of the labs that's one person that established one of the world's leading venous basic science labs is retiring, and we want to talk to him about how did he establish it? What problems did he have? How did he overcome those? How did he maintain a lab for so many decades at the forefront of basic biology? So we want to change it up a little bit, keep it fresh. There'll always be some new ideas. And we also welcome your ideas. If you have ideas, please feel free to contact us.
So I think that this is very fluid at this point, and there are, I think, many possibilities with the voices. And one of them, as you mentioned, are podcasts. And one of them, I think, also is looking at recent papers and abstracting them, or even getting the author on a podcast and talking about in depth. So that's really exciting for all. And it makes it a little bit different than other societies and the way that they do things. With that being said, I'm going to answer another question that you haven't even asked me. We're actually going to the UIP, the AVLS, and we've been asked to have a breakfast meeting by the AVLS UIP, which will be on September 20th at 7 a.m. And it will be rapid fire cases with at least 20 of our leading key opinion leaders that will be there, whether presenting or discussing. So we'd like to see you there as well. And I look forward to meeting more people and having you be part of Venous Lymphatic University.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this interview. This sounds like a really exciting session, especially the fact that it's so clinically oriented, and we're all clinicians. We want to hear cases. We want to hear how these cases are handled and hear different opinions on how cases should be handled.
So we did this at the last UIP, and the session was extremely interactive. Matter of fact, there was a little bit of emotion in it, as you can understand, with so many differences of ways of treating a particular object. So again, it's very exciting, it's very interactive, and we hope to see you there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.